Barbara. It is cool and rainy today. Dennis said it was only going to get up to 70, but I had plans to do some gardening, and who knows, maybe this afternoon I will be able to do that. But not now, because it is raining. Good morning, it's Barbara. Oh, I don't need my glasses. Thank you for joining me for coffee. I may get to garden yet because Dennis didn't think it was supposed to rain all day. And I have those thistly weeds to pull, so having moist ground will make it easier to get them up. I need to weed around my irises and then mulch them. And there are a few weeds in the rest of the garden, so I will pull some weeds. And I have a coneflower and many more coming, and I have Stelladoro lilies coming, so there you go. My sages didn't look so good, and I thought they were going to continue to bloom. So I will have to take a look at them while I'm out there. And then I will mulch around my irises. They didn't get any mulch. Do you deadhead irises? Because mine are gone. The flowers are gone. I don't usually do anything, but then I usually just ignore my garden altogether. So I know tulips, you're just supposed to let them wither back into themselves, and they have reabsorbed their nutrients. I'll just leave them. Won't hurt anything. And, well, I'll tell you about my day yesterday. My day yesterday turned out to be guided by Instagram. As some days turn out to be. I was, the first thing I came across was Drinky Drink Project, which is Very Pink Knit's other account. And she had, her drink of the day that she was showing was the Pim Cup. Now, for those of you who are not in the United Kingdom, may not be familiar with Pims, but Pims is a very British liquor. Oh, it's right there. Let me grab it. So here's what Pims looks like. I just opened it yesterday. So, and the drink, the cup, and I don't know if there are other drinks, and I could look them up because now I have it opened. The Pims cup is Pims, 7-Up, or ginger ale, or something like that. Ice, and garnished with fruit and cucumbers, and a sprig of mint. And Drinky Drink Projects was jam full of fruit. She used strawberries and oranges and cucumbers. She said lemon, but I'm not sure that she actually put lemons in. And I thought, oh my gosh, that sounds like dessert. It looks like dessert. And I had Pims. The reason we had a bottle of Pims in our bar was because we had been in, been to England quite a long time ago for a wedding of a friend. And an American man and a British woman, Rick and Karen. And we discovered Pim's cups while we were there for that wedding. So, and they moved to the United States, and their oldest just graduated from high school. That's how long ago the wedding was. That's how long we've had this Pims. Unopened. It was unopened. I would just, because I really enjoyed the Pims cups while I was in, England. So anyway, when I saw the Pimm's cup, and I thought, oh, well, I can't have the oranges, but I can have the strawberries, and I can have the cucumbers. I think I'll have a Pimm's cup today. Well, I didn't have any strawberries. So then I started thinking, well, Carol's making rhubarb gin, infused gin, and so somebody on my Instagram was doing that too. And rhubarb and strawberries come in at the same time, which is why there's such a thing as rhubarb strawberry pie. So anyway, long story long, Dennis and I went to a farm market and got a flat of strawberries because Dennis has in the past made strawberry preserves, but he does them with Splenda instead of sugar so we can eat them. You can, berries are considered fine on a keto diet in small quantities. I mean, you can't have too many of them because they do have fructose, which is not that good for you. But you can eat berries, as I said, in small quantities. And we don't often have fruit, but it's strawberry season. So we went to the farmer's market and bought a flat of strawberries, which is 8 quarts, and I have no idea how many kilos that is. But it filled a big pot this big when we hauled them yesterday. So Dennis is going to make strawberry preserves, which we put on, it's like strawberry sauce. It's not thick like jam. It's not, it's too thin. Like if we ate bread, it would be almost too thin for toast, but it's delicious on top of cheesecake and yogurt and things like that. And every once in a while, we feel like a little something, something. And if he's got he puts them in little tiny jars. I think those jars are probably like a half a cup, 4 ounces. I don't know how much that is in milliliters. So, when we get an urge, we don't get too much, because you can go overboard. It's easy to go overboard. But let me tell you, those strawberries were so delicious. Oh my gosh. The car smelled like strawberries on the way home. Our refrigerator right now smells like strawberries. It's so yummy. And they were so delicious. So I made my Pimm's cup. And it was yummy. Although Dennis got me worried that the Pimm's might be too sweet, and because I can't really have a sweet liquor, and so I panicked. So I only put 1 ounce of Pimm's and an ounce of gin, because Pimm's is a gin-based drink. But then I looked it up, and it turns out there's only 1 carb in an ounce of Pimm's. So I could have had 2 ounces of Pimm's. So I'm thinking I might have another one today, because when we were at the farmer's market or farm store, we bought a cucumber for my Pimm's cup, and rhubarb, because I'm infusing gin with rhubarb on Carol's recommendation. Well, she didn't recommend it. She just said that's what she was doing, and it was yummy. Hold on, let me get it. I'll show you. So here's my rhubarb infused gin. Now I have used erythritol instead of sugar. And my and erythritol does not dissolve as easily, so I don't know how this is going to go. And I have to look up more recipes, and maybe Carol can help me with this, because I just looked up a recipe for the proportions, which was 300 grams of rhubarb, 200 grams of sugar, and half a liter of gin. And I used those proportions. It's going to be nice and pink. Isn't that cute? But it said to store it in a cool, dry place for 3 days, and then it's ready. 3 days? Is that all it takes? 3 days? So I gotta look up more recipes and see if everybody thinks it only takes 3 days. Because, you know, 3 days doesn't sound like very much. Although it's already leaching its pink. And it's been less than 24 hours. So anyway, so Drinky Drink Project started us on the path down the strawberries and everything. But while I was there, I also picked up some local tomatoes because I follow Annie Molly, who is on Instagram, Home with Annie. And Annie and her husband are the co-captains of the J&E Riggin, or they were, which is the sailing schooner that we sailed on in Penobscot Bay in Maine. In fact, this is the very point of their boat, boat, that I painted once, and I pulled it out because I thought I'd give it another try. But this picture is Penobscot Bay taken from the J&E Riggin, and Annie was the chef owner of the ship, and her husband was the sailing captain. They both called themselves Captain Annie and Captain, I forget her husband's name. But Annie is a chef, and she has several cookbooks, and you know, her whole thing was, you know, use what you have. And, you know, how do you use your leftovers and what can you do? Because so the idea is that the J&E Riggin goes out for a 5-day sail in Penobscot Bay and, you know, loads up with provisions. And I forget how many people were passengers they were sailing around. I would say at least 12. There was at least 12 of us, maybe 15. I'm not sure. It was a wonderful time. They have turned the ship over to someone else and are no longer doing the sailing, I don't think. In fact, I'm sure not, because she's home cooking. But anyway, she's a chef, and she, like I said, has written a couple cookbooks. But it was all about, so you have this dish for dinner, and then how do you turn that into breakfast or lunch, or, you know, like use the parts or leftovers of this and that. Anyway, it's really interesting. But she posted a picture of her dinner last night, which she got from her garden, and she was very excited because this is the first summer that she's really been able to, you know, do a garden properly, because they sailed all summer for the last 30 years or whatever. So in that picture of her dinner, she had tomato, avocado, and cilantro relish, which looked delicious and is totally keto. Well, tomatoes have carbs, so you have to watch how many tomatoes you have. But you know, with a nice vinaigrette, and you know, Dennis gave me a suggestion on the vinaigrette, which wasn't vinaigrette, it was lime juice and olive oil and salt and pepper. The cilantro, I should have chopped the cilantro a little bit smaller, maybe. You just got, whenever you had cilantro, it was a lot of cilantro. So anyway, thanks to Annie, I made tomato and avocado relish. And thanks to Drinky Drink, I made a Pim's. So I had lots of fruits and vegetables yesterday. And Dennis is going to be making preserves today. That'll be fun. So we have strawberries to take over and rhubarb to take over to Aura, because I bought 3 stalks too many of rhubarb. And so she's going to take the rhubarb and some strawberries. I don't know what she'll do with those. And while I was at the farm store, I bought some flowers too. I bought 4 coleus, thank you for the suggestion, and 3 other flowers that I'm going to put in my flower boxes on my shed. So I have gardening to do today. I have weeding, mulching, and planting. Not going to take very long because, you know, I try not to do too much outside. I have been harvesting a sprig of mint from my mint garden every day because I've been having south sides for my cocktail. And every time I go and pick a sprig of mint, I weed a little bit. So the weeds, I'm kind of keeping up with the weeds, not great. So but I haven't been doing, there's sort of a little rock edge around where the mint is that's full of the grassy weeds that are so easy to pick. So I'm gonna weed the whole thing. So hopefully it stops raining. Well, yesterday it was not lovely out on the deck in the morning. It was close and really cloudy. But by the afternoon, it was absolutely stunningly gorgeous. So we hauled the strawberries out on the deck. We just pulled them out there and we just sat there and talked and hauled strawberries, 8 quarts of strawberries. It actually didn't take too long with the two of us doing it. And it was beautiful outside, just gorgeous. So I'm hoping today will follow suit in that it's not a lovely morning, but it'll end up being a nice afternoon. And according to Dennis, it's not supposed to get above like 70. So I'm wearing my sea salt in my Yoshi and Lucy yarn. Since it's gonna be, let me shake up my, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to, whenever this is done, and I have to look up if 3 days is the consensus, because I'm not sure about that, but I'm gonna have to strain it through a cloth because this erythritol is not gonna, I should have ground it and turned it into like confectioner's erythritol, but that's okay. I don't need it very sweet, but I'm gonna need to strain it through a cloth to get that, well, it'll precipitate out, I guess, but you don't really want a crunchy aperitif. I'm not sure. People were just saying we just drink it. It's good. So maybe I'll just drink it, but I could Google rhubarb infused gin drinks and see what they suggest too. Well, actually, I hope it is. Well, I'm going to taste it in 3 days. That's for sure. Because if I really like it, then I'll go get more rhubarb and make more. Because it's rhubarb season. And to tell you the truth, I was laying there, we sort of have, figured out what we're doing with all the strawberries. I had strawberries for dessert, strawberries and whipped cream for dessert. Oh, these strawberries are so delicious. The problem with this is that I'm not going to be able to eat those strawberries that you get in the winter and the fall anymore. After having such lovely strawberries now. And that's how you're supposed to eat. You're supposed to eat in season. Which means I should be able to have a lot more strawberries now than I'm going to. But I am sitting here thinking, maybe I'll have strawberries today too. We did keep out a few strawberries for ourselves to eat. Dennis was thinking of making strawberry ice cream and thought he would like to put some just cut up fresh strawberries in it. So we did keep a few strawberries out from what he's going to make into preserves. But they're so good. Anyway, so that was yesterday. So if things go as I hope, I will be able to go and do some gardening this afternoon. And I did knit a little bit yesterday, not too much. I read a little bit. I slept okay last night. The last few nights before last night, I have slept really badly. Really, really badly. Last night I was sitting here, early evening, like, oh, I feel, I'm so weird. I feel guilty. I'm not painting. I want to do that painting and I'm not doing it. Dennis is looking at me. I know that's weird. Yeah. You don't need to feel guilty that you're not painting. But I didn't want to do anything. You know, it was just like, I was like in one of those moods. It's like, you know, I'm bored and I don't want to do anything. So Dennis had made paneer yesterday, so I made more crackers. We were out of crackers. So I did that. And that felt like I did something, you know, and then I sat down and I read. I did add a little bit more greenery to my picture. I think it's looking better. I'm not sure if it's done yet. I added a few more rocks and I added more contour to the mountains. So I'm not sure if I'm done yet. I have to decide. You know, sometimes it's hard to decide when you're done with a picture. You'd think that would be easy. I'm done. Oh, that's it. I'm done. It's not that easy. Okay, kids. Well, I'm going to go. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope it's raining if you need rain. I hope it's sunny if you need sun. We don't really need the rain, I don't think. Our creek is quite high, but it is what it is. Take good care of yourselves, please, please, please. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Stay safe and stay sane.